on my way to my doctor's appointment since it's Tuesday. It's almost 2 p.m. And I've had a pretty productive morning. I got up around 10 and I've been listening to Hunger Games all morning and kind of cleaning, doing my makeup, and just in general trying to make myself feel ready to take on the next couple days of having time off and, you know, being able to choose what I want to do, which is kind of scary. But yeah, everything's going pretty well. Good morning, if I didn't say that already. And yeah, so I'm gonna go to my doctor's appointment now. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about yet, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. And then maybe I'll make a little list of the projects I want to work on today, because I have several good ideas. So I'm pretty excited. I hope you are too. So I'm done with my appointment, and I wanted to make a note of what I talked about today. These are good. The more and more I do this, the more and more I know that talking about it right after the appointment not only keeps it fresh in my mind and reinforces what we talked about, but it also gives me, it's like a journal for me to be able to say, okay, this is what I was going through today, this is what we talked about, and this is how I'm going to conquer it, which is cool. It's very much like it's very much like coming up with a battle plan. I feel kind of like a battle commander. I know I've been reading way too much fantasy and sci-fi. But yeah, I feel kind of like a battle commander. Like, these are the obstacles that I will face this week, and this is the way I will conquer them. But I'm feeling so good right now. We talked about the obstacles in switching to a different psychiatrist, which I'm doing because I was able to get in with my primary care doctors. They just brought in a new psychiatrist. So I have a preliminary appointment with her, and I'm, you know, kind of nervous about that. Because, you know, what if I don't like her, or all the things that can happen with doctors. But mostly I have to remember that this is freeing up a space for somebody else at a nonprofit clinic, which is good. There are always more people that need care. And also that this move is for me so that I can be more efficient, so that I don't have to spend all day on the phone trying to get a prescription refilled like what happened last week. If I can avoid that, it's worth it. So talking about that helped. And also talking about the trip, the road trip that we're planning. And I don't know if I told you completely about the trip, but Jake and I are planning mid-July to drive out to Seattle. We would stop and see Mount Rushmore on the way. It would take 3 days to drive there. Then our friends would fly into Seattle, and we'd be there with 3 of our other friends, plus our 2 friends, or 3, plus our friend Kenny, who lives in Portland. That's the main reason why we're going out there, to see him. But we would spend a weekend in Seattle, and then we would go up to Vancouver for a few days. I've never been to any of those places. And then we go back down to Kenny's for a good part of a week, while he worked a little bit so we could explore Portland, and then go to the Portland Craft Brewers Festival, which is a huge deal. It's like a 5-day long beer fest. Crazy. And then they would fly back, and Jake and I would drive home, and we'd go through Yellowstone on the way home, which I've also never seen. But this makes me very anxious because it's a lot of stuff that I don't have control over, which causes my anxiety to flare up. Looking into the past and looking too far into the future tend to make my anxiety go up. So I can help quell that by, you know, I came up with the dates, I came up with how much it's going to cost, and by setting a date for myself, say June 19th, a month before the trip would start, to say, okay, I have all the things that I can possibly have under control. I know what the budget is, I know how much money it will cost, I know how many days I will be gone. There's not much else I can do about it at this point besides find a job. So by putting it in its neat little box or vase and putting it on the shelf and saying, this is something that I don't need to have anxiety over. This is something that I don't need to worry about and that I shouldn't worry about until the 19th when we have to make plans and stuff. So giving myself that, allowing myself to set it away, to set it on a shelf and not worry about it, gives me the opportunity to not be anxious over it. It's about compartmentalizing the things that make you anxious and really rationalizing that there is nothing I can do about it right now, so that's what you do. It's a very, very valuable thing, and I'm just learning how to do it. But the more and more practice you get, the better and better you get at it. And I'm the same thing was with job searching when I was dealing with my grandma's memorial service. You know, you were able to set it aside and say, I can't deal with this right now because it's not important right now, but next week it will be, so I'll put it on the shelf and I will wait until I can handle that again, and I'll bring it to the forefront again. So now that's where we are at. And so I'm handling everything by making a list. Making lists helps. I have lots of coping mechanisms that I've developed. It's all very scientific, actually, when you think about it. My coping mechanisms involve making something with my hands, which can also become a distraction if I'm not too careful with it. Making lists, which can also, I have to make sure that I make lists, and then also, like, I can make one big list and then a list for each day, so that I'm not skipping out on things that are harder to do but need to be done, like looking for jobs. So I make a big list of all the things that I want to do, all the projects that I might want to get done, even little things like sweeping the floor. And then I make a list where I have 2 or 3 goals per day, which looks more like a calendar. And that helps control getting one big issue a day, or one part of a big issue done a day. Helps me put that much more into my control and out of my anxiety. So I just thought that I would share that with you. Maybe I'll even drop a little chart of how I do it, because maybe it would help some of you. Even if you don't have anxiety like me, everybody struggles with task organization, and maybe it would help for you to see how I handle it somewhat successfully. Sometimes, and my doctor even mentioned this, you know, when I like kind of fall off the organizing wagon and life gets a little too ahead of me and chaos ensues, it really only just makes me anxious and stressed out and stuff until I'm able to come back around and bring it back into the world that I am comfortable and familiar with by making a list. It's so crazy how it works, but it's so just how my brain works, and getting the thoughts that are bouncing around in your head and down onto paper is so much of a better way of dealing with things than just letting them bounce around in your head, because all it does is cause anxiety. So yeah, I thought I would share that with you, and now I'm going to drive home, and hopefully I'll miss the wild traffic. It's still pretty early, it's barely 3 p.m., but the Wild play tonight in St. Paul. I've already seen some people in Blackhawks jerseys walking around, and I made sure to give them the stink eye. Yeah, because the Wild play tonight, and it's against the Blackhawks, and sports in itself is stressful, but that is something that I willingly indulge in, I guess. Oh, sports. Okay, we're gonna drive home, and we're not gonna run over any Blackhawks fans. Just kidding. You'd know I'd never do that. Whew. So I just spent several hours going through music that I've been wanting to put in a playlist for a while. Mostly music from my angsty teenage days. So like Fall Out Boy, Dashboard Confessional, Sugar Cult, Jack's Mannequin, Plus 44, Yellow Card, all of those really great ones. Songs that really just threw me right back into time, along with some that I heard on the radio today. I just wanted to make a list because sometimes, like, I go through these phases where music means so much to me. Like, it's everything. Sometimes I think music is the best thing in the entire world. And today I just had one of those like waves of love for music, and so I wanted to make a list of that. I'll put the link to the Spotify list that I made in the description below if you want to listen to what I was listening to today. I think it's fun to share stuff that reminds me of stuff, and there are a couple new songs on there that I like, and just cool stuff. And now I'm listening to more Hunger Games, and I'm freezing, so I'm going to go put on a sweatshirt and some thick socks and make some soup or something, because that sounds delicious. And I'll also show you what I got in the mail today, because it's pretty exciting. So this is what I got in the mail today. I got my Coastal Scents order, which is a whole bunch of makeup brushes. And I got, this was like a little special that they were having where it was a customer appreciation set. So this brush, their 25 brush blending brush, and this face brush, and another face brush. So that's exciting, and a brush cleaner. And then I got some blending brushes because I want to try to do some more things with eyeshadow. So I got some more things. This is more, I got it for a lip brush. Nice to have another lip brush. Got this blending dome one. That's going to be really, really useful. This one for a little bit more precise application. And then this one for blending. And this is another dome for adding shadows into the crease and the V, this part right here. Because that's the part that I have the hardest time getting precise blending in, because all of my blending brushes are too big. So I'm excited to play with them and try new looks with makeup. I don't think makeup is necessarily something that I want to do professionally, but I could definitely see doing it as a hobby on other people, because I really enjoy it, and it uses color and a lot of the other concepts I know already from design in very similar ways. So it's something I can really get into. Plus I just totally geek out over it, which is just kind of fun. And yeah, this whole order only cost like $25. So that's pretty cool. Just to get a whole bunch of new brushes to try. They're really inexpensive and they're pretty good quality. And if I ever want to upgrade the brush, you know, you can spend easily $25 on one brush, if not more. So I always have the opportunity to do that, but until then, now I can try out different shapes and find what works best for me. Plus, you can never have too many brushes because you're supposed to wash them a lot, and, well, I don't wash them enough. You're supposed to wash them every single day. But, you know, always good to have extras so that you're not constantly reapplying the same thing to your eyes. You know what I mean. Alright, I'm gonna make some food because I'm so hungry. So I'm working on a new project, trying out my new colored pencils, and let me tell you, oh my gosh, they are so luscious. Like this leaf right here was done with like little tiny scratches of pigment. I'll show you how little color pencil you need in order to get that vibrant of color. It's crazy. But I'm trying to draw some leaves because I know I want my next canvas to be like the one I just did, only I want it to be a ton of leaves with some flowers on it, and I want the leaves to be green. So I'm practicing my different leaves and kind of want to create just a cool art journal page. Alright, so this one was done with very, very little light strokes of pencil, and then I did this one with darker strokes of pencil. Not even that much more pencil, and I'll show you how awesome and vibrant they end up. And then this is how vibrant and pigmented they end up looking once I use my water brush on them. Pretty cool. And I'm just using the set of 24 watercolor pencils, so just these 4 colors. And it's turning out really cool. I like it. I think once I get done drawing the flowers, I'll go back over with some India ink or maybe just a black marker. But I really like how they're turning out so far. So this is, I think I'm done with the leaves. I don't know. This is a conceptual piece, so we'll see. But I like how they're kind of falling upwards. At least that's how it feels for me, like they're being blown away by the wind. Maybe I'll add another one up here, but it'd be a very, very tiny one. So that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of enjoying it. Nice little therapeutic art activity. Also a Jake. Wow, Jake appears. We had a nice long talk about job aspirations and what we want to do and stuff like that, and it's important to talk sometimes. Sometimes you forget to do that, and it was just nice. And Leia likes to talk too, but we knew that already. Yeah, just like me, just like your mama. Just talking all the time, right? Did you just eat dinner? Yeah, how was it? There wasn't enough food? You can't possibly be dissatisfied with the food. It was delicious. I prepared it myself. Nope. Not having it. Okay, I'll play with the laser pointer. But just for you. Just because you're cute. Ready? Good job, Lele. You are so quick and agile. It's a good thing this thing isn't real, otherwise you'd kill it a bajillion times. I mean, it's real. It's absolutely real. Oh, you better get it. You better get it. Oh, oh, get it. Oh. All right. Time for little Dot to go away. Good night. Good night, Lele. So thank you so much for watching today. Be sure to thumbs up the video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe to see more. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Good night.